What a difference a couple of weeks make. We're talking sunshiny skies, and just 2 weeks ago when the Maine Sabers opened up their CIFL season, we were talking major rainstorms on the 4th of July. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff Peterson from News Channel 13, along with Jay Harper from CTV 30 in Saco. And this one, thank goodness we have dry weather.
Thank goodness we have dry weather, but the Maine Sabers are probably saying, couldn't we turn it down just a little bit, because it's sweltering here in Sanford tonight. But it should be a good game for the Sabres. They picked up a few new players. New Jersey offers something in the unknown, is that this is their first game of the year, but they're a good team. They were 4-4 last year, and Dave Blaisdell, president of the Maine Sabres, says this should be their toughest team to play this year. So,
you know, not only is it different with the weather and everything, but thank goodness the Maine Sabres have logos on their helmets. 2 weeks ago, they didn't have anything to put on their helmets.
if they paid their admission fee, the players got their logos. I was talking earlier, and they had to pay their substantial fee to get on the team, and then they got their logos. So some players will have them, some may not tonight.
All right, and the big thing, of course, in the home opener, of course, for the Maine Sabres, just with the rain and everything, and the first time, it's always tough for the offense. Very, very sloppy, but the defense, dynamite for the Sabres.
They've been really super, and I expect the same thing. Jim McQueen leading the way from his linebacking position. They picked up a few new players this week. They should be tough, and I think they're going to see a lot better offense in the New Jersey Oaks than they saw last week from the Philadelphia Ramblers.
All right, kickoff in just a couple of minutes. I'm Jeff Peterson along with Jay Harper. We have the New Jersey Oaks and the Maine Sabres coming up.
Soothing relief for those nasty marketing problems. Print Mail of Maine. From your initial consultation straight through the final printing, Print Mail of Maine is truly the multi-symptom marketing remedy. And if your order needs mailing, relax. We can handle it. Print Mail of Maine. Now get some rest.
Wormwood's by the Breakwater, a family restaurant, has been owned and operated by the Wormwood family for over 44 years. Serving the finest seafood and certified Angus beef, Wormwood's restaurant is located at Cape Ellis Beach off Route 9 in Saco, Maine. Open 11:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Wormwood's by the Breakwater.
And we are ready to go, folks. We are back with you another week. Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Peterson, along with Jay Harper of CTV 30 in Saco. We are bringing you the Maine Sabers of the CIFL. Yes, more semi-pro football here on a Saturday in Sanford, Maine. And I'm looking forward to a pretty darn good game. Last week, of course, a couple of weeks ago, Maine Sabers beat the Ramblers 7-2, a very sloppy game to open up the season. But, hey, it was the opener. It was raining. A lot of good excuses for the Sabers.
Certainly was. And this week, you got the nice weather tonight. You got a few new players. You got another couple of weeks to prepare on your weaknesses from last week. So the coaching staff for the Sabres and the players, I'm sure, are looking forward to this one. New Jersey, though, a very tough opponent. Supposedly one of the better teams in the CIFL this year. And so we don't really know what we're in store for tonight, but hopefully another win for the Maine Sabres.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. That was the name of the game 2 weeks ago when they took on the Philadelphia Ramblers. We had just a scoreless game, almost like a baseball game for the most part. The Ramblers came out to take a 2-0 lead on a safety. Then with about 6 to 7 minutes left, the Sabres finally put in the game-winning touchdown and pulled it out 7-2 for the big win. But, of course, that is not the number one reason we are here. The Maine Sabres, their main purpose here, besides to play football, win football games, is to raise money for charity.
And the turnout tonight's slow right now as they're filing in. But I think as this thing grows, Jeff, and if the Sabres can keep winning, that'll, of course, bring the fans out in bigger numbers. And they're playing, of course, tonight for the Maine Children's Cancer Program, that being the main charity for this evening's contest.
All right, and again, all the money goes for the charity, and these players out here, none of them are getting paid at all. None of them are getting paid. They're coming out here on their own free time and just having a good time, the camaraderie, playing some football, and just banging heads together, and they're going to bang some heads tonight against the New Jersey Oaks. The New Jersey Oaks have not played a game yet, not even an exhibition game, so I was down there talking to the coaches early on. They don't know what to expect.
It's going to be tough for them tonight traveling all the way up here in Maine, but I think this warm weather they're more used to than, of course, the Sabres. A little further south is New Jersey, and I'm sure they've had a summer where us up here in Maine haven't seen much warm weather. This is really a big, big shock to us Mainers.
Well, it is about time back deep for the New Jersey Oaks. Darren Royster, number 2, and also number 22, Keith Mcquitter. Kicking out for the Sabers is Mr. Goodrich. Taking it, number 2, is going to be Darren Royster. He's out across the 20, breaks a couple of tackles, but brought down immediately at the 30-yard line. And the New Jersey Oaks, just your typical football game. Watch for him just to move the ball right smack up the middle on first and second down, and maybe a few surprises, but for the most part, just playing your solid offensive game. Well, the Maine Sabers have one heck of a defense. They proved it 2 weeks ago.
They certainly did. Of course, holding a team from Philadelphia to only 2 points, and of course, that was scored on the offense or the kicking team. So the defense is pitching a shutout so far, and of course, their one game last year only allowed 7 points to another team. So the defense is ready to play some hard-nosed football, and that's what we're used to seeing in the state of Maine throughout high school ball.
Now on defense for the Maine Sabers, watch for number 99, Craig Hutchinson, number 98, Paul Boulay. And right away, just a quick handoff right up the middle. That was the quarterback. That is number 4, Paul Winter for the New Jersey Oaks, and that's going nowhere. Again, the key to the Sabers' win just a couple of weeks ago, that defense just dynamite and deadly. They stopped the Philadelphia Ramblers just right in their path.
Well, kind of a surprise, Jeff, is the size of the Maine Sabers defense. You wouldn't expect them to be that big, but across the front, they got some pretty big boys, and they're quick up feet.
Somebody that's going to get the ball an awful lot as we look on offense for the New Jersey Oaks. Watch for number 6, John Horn. He's the halfback. Again, we'd like to remind you the Maine Sabers have only played one game. The New Jersey Oaks haven't played even an exhibition game yet. And speaking of Horn, there he is right there, breaks about 3 tackles, and the defense right there on him. He only gets about 4 yards, and the Sabers, again, super right now as we have a late flag go.
Personal foul there. It'll be, I think, against a Maine player. The New Jersey player, livid as he has his helmet off, down on the field. That's number 75, John Turner, for the Oaks.
You know, the one thing that general manager and president of the team, David Blythe, just says over and over again, we're out here to raise money for charity. We're out here to have fun. We're not trying not to have some of the late penalties. We're not going to argue calls. We're not going to get in any scuffles. You saw the personal foul right there, but you saw the Saber players walk away to avoid any kind of scuffle at all.
Well, I think maybe he took the first cheap shot and then got out of there because the penalty is on the Sabers, and the New Jersey player, Turner, was really, really upset. He had his helmet off and was trying to get back in there, so obviously the Maine player took a shot at him after the play was over.
Well, whatever the case, it sets up a first down and 10 for the Oaks. That was a deadly penalty for the Sabers. Instead of a third down and a long way to go, now it's first and 10 around the 49 for the Oaks. And something that we're going to have to watch for in this ballgame. Again, the heat could be a factor. A little bit later, we look on the sidelines on the near side. The Maine Sabers have a good 40 to 50 players, and if we look on the opposite side, the New Jersey Oaks have maybe about 10 extra players out over there, so the heat could be a factor. All right, Oaks on offense. First down and 10 at the 49-yard line. There's your quarterback, Winter, back to pass. He's in trouble. He's got plenty of running room on the far side of the field, but he is going to be taken down by number 99, Craig Hutchins, and the defense did a great job avoiding any kind of a pass and any kind of a run by Winters.
Good job that time by Hutchins and McEwen, chasing him out of the pocket and out of bounds at the 47-yard line, so that'll be a gain of about 4, set up a 2nd and 6.
Keys for the team this week for the Sabers. They feel like they're going to be a much better ball club. Anything is better than the way they played it 2 weeks ago. It was raining. It was hard to hang on to the ball. A lot of fumbles, a lot of interceptions, a lot of penalties, and, of course, the snapping was bad. The only 2 points they gave up was a safety after a bad snap into the end zone. And, of course, Coach Quinn of the Maine Sabres says, heck, anything's got to be better after that first game, and we're looking forward to it today. They've worked on their snapping. They've worked on their defense, and their defense was the number one thing that helped them win that football game. So right now, second down. We'll call it 6 for the Oaks. Somebody moved. Jumping across was number 59, Mike Drew out of Sanford. Played at the Air Force Academy. 6'1", 245 pounds. Came running in there. It's raining yellow flags out there.
Second penalty against the Sabres, and so far, that's how New Jersey is moving up the field against Maine.
3 plays on offense gave them about 6 yards, and 2 penalties now. That's 20 yards for the Oaks. So they'll take them any way they can get them, and the Sabres here just giving them like a late Christmas present here with that one. So second down, and this is one of your free plays now for the Oaks. Second down and maybe less than a yard. You know, one of those times where you might want to put the ball up in the air, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here with the offensive line of the Oaks. They're just going to give a quick riv right up the middle And that goes to number 32, Newton Romaldo. And that's going to be an easy first down.
That was Bart Starr down territory right there, 2nd and 1, but they didn't go up top. Packers used to love to use that play, and Bart Starr, one of the best with play action.
You know, we were talking about those logos. They just got brand new today, and Coach Quinn says, you know, those logos look great. They're beautiful. The uniforms look pretty, but we want to scuff them up tonight. When we go into the locker room at halftime, I don't want to see any of those logos looking nice. So that will be the tall tale here for the Maine Sabers if they scuff up their logos tonight. So they want to be doing some hard hits. Winner straight back to pass over on the near side. And a nice little gain there on the play, and that's good for about 5 yards. On the receiving end was Tyrone Lanier, number 82.
And Tyrone good for about 5 on that play. Winter looking good dropping back. He looks like he's got good mobility and can move in and out of the pocket. And that time, just a little quick out, picks up 5, but it'll set up a 2nd down and a short 5 now for the Oaks.
All right, again, Jeff Peterson of News Channel 13. I'm here with you, along with Jay Harper of CTV 30 in Saco. We're on NEC TV Sports, bringing you all the Maine Sabers action throughout the 1992 season. And I have to think right there, we had 2 or 3 black jerseys offsides. And, boy, there's been a whole heck of a lot of penalties already. 3 on the day, I think, for the Sabers.
The ball was handed off to John Horn, number 6. He looks fast, but, boy, you look at his body. He's a big load down there. We don't have, of course, the size listings for the New Jersey Oaks, but I would guess he goes well over 200 pounds, probably about 215.
Let's just say he eats a lot of cheeseburgers. He's a big guy. Yes. Well, it just keeps going, though, the way the Sabres don't want it to go. The defense is doing a great job stopping them, but it's giving them precedent after precedent here with the penalties.
Well, you wouldn't expect to see as many mental mistakes this early in the contest, and, of course, after 2 weeks to prepare for this 2nd game of the season. But the Sabres not in tune right now mentally, and they're costing their team. And New Jersey now all the way down inside the Sabres' 30-yard line.
All right, first down at 10. Call it the 29 for the New Jersey Oaks. Winner's your quarterback. In the backfield, number 6, John Horn. He's been seeing about 2 or 3 handoffs already here for the team. Winner's looking for the end zone, and he's thrown it where nobody is around, and it could be a holding call on number 73, Carl Frank. We'll have to wait and see for the New Jersey Oaks. And interesting if this is on Frank. Frank is one of the oldest players in the league, 54 years old. He played for about 10 or 12 years in the Canadian Football League. Again, that is number 73, and looks like he held on that play.
This is his 24th season with New Jersey. He says if he plays next year, that'll make 25, and he may retire after that season, but he says we'll wait and see. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, one of these days they're going to have the senior league for football or something. You know, we got the golf, and we're going to have the tennis probably pretty soon and everything else, so who knows? But he says, the heck with that. I don't want to play with the seniors. I'm going to show these young guys how to play football.
That time he needed a little extra help.
Carl Frank, number 73, New Jersey Oaks. Keep your eye on him. Again, he's 54 years young, we'll call him, playing for the Oaks.
Quite amazing. You see a few of those stories in the Twilight League in Portland, baseball players, some of those 50-year-old plus playing baseball, but that's not the same, baseball and football. There is a huge difference in conditioning and what takes its toll on your body.
Oh, they hit and they run, and boy, I tell you, that's a tough sport. Again, Winter straight back to pass. The Oaks passing all over the place. There's a quick pass right up the middle to Jeffrey Sorrell. Sorrell not going anywhere. They didn't fool the Sabres a bit.
McEwen and company in there on the stop for the Sabres. Also in there, number 21 for Maine, Dale Bridges.
You know, getting back to McEwen, that is a name we're going to be calling out an awful lot of tonight.
Well, he also was a great fullback, and he played some fullback over in Italy, where he just came from. And, of course, an outstanding linebacker at UMass, Player of the Year in the conference one season. And Dave Blaisdell says that was the key to their touchdown last week, but I watched it on replay, and McEwen went through that hole, and he could have driven a truck through there. He was just looking for people to block. The line really did the work.
That was a big one. No fooling anybody on that one. Horn went right up the middle on the Sabre defense for the 3rd straight time. Nothing doing.
It was McEwen. Again, he just pounded him right through the hole.
He learned something over there in Italy. Not only how to eat spaghetti, but how to tackle, and he's doing a heck of a job. He had a great game against the Philadelphia Ramblers just a couple of weeks ago, just like the rest of the defense did for the Sabres. 8 minutes, 41 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Again, no score. The New Jersey Oaks have had the football for almost a half a quarter. A lot of it due to penalties on the Maine Saber defense. So the Maine Saber offense can't wait to get that football. It's going to be third down and a whole heck of a lot of ways to go. We're talking about the 20-yard line for an Oaks first down. And that's going to be easily a legal procedure. That's going to be called on number 70, Rob Golensecki of New Jersey Oaks. So now we're going the other way. It's almost like a tug-of-war battle with penalties here. We're going one way and go back the other way. It's kind of sloppy right now.
Reminds me of a lot of high school games I've called in the past, where you give up a bunch of yardage on the penalty, and then you give it all back. And now New Jersey going the wrong way as they head the turnpike home here.
Oaks coaching staff going, guys, we're going the other way. We're going the other way. Third down, call it 25. I call it about a mile to go. Winters over the middle, and he's looking over the middle to his tight end, number 89, but is not going to get it. A nice interception on the play, and a lot of running room right here across midfield, and that was by number 22, Corey Kerrigan out of South Berwick, Maine, and big-time turnover there for the Sabres. They're going to have ball right there knocking on the doorstep inside the 50-yard line.
A return of almost 30 yards by Kerrigan as he just stayed in his zone. The ball was overthrown, an easy pickoff for him, and then good yardage down the sideline.
All right, Winters was looking over the middle to his tight end, 89, Jeffrey Sorrell, and actually Sorrell was open around the 20. He was going to be just short of a first down, even if he would have caught it, but Winters just underthrew him by about 10 yards, and thank goodness Corrigan right there to bring it back. So now that Maine Saber offense with the big quarterback, number 14, Jim Cry.
Cry didn't have the greatest of weeks last week, but they rave about his passing ability, and he's a big man behind the center there.
All right, the Sabres going to try to get that running game going in the backfield. Getting the ball that time was number 32, Boo Boo Glue. We talked about his name, and we said his name plenty 2 weeks ago against the Philadelphia Ramblers. He's out of Rochester, New Hampshire, played his ball at Spalding High School, led him to a state championship. You'll be hearing his name an awful lot here this afternoon. And McQueen coming off the football field right now. Boy, he plays offense, he plays defense, he buys hot dogs for the team, he does it all.
He definitely has a lot of football experience. He's their big man and probably the team leader out there.
Somebody to watch for wide receiver-wise for the Sabres here on the near side. Number 7, Curtis Olds, played his football at the University of New Hampshire. Cry back to pass. He's looking the other way, though, and he's looking wide open.
Hebert.
That is Rob Hebert inside the 10-yard line, and boy, didn't take long for the Sabres to get their offense on a roll.
Rob Hebert was wide open, flying down the sideline. Cry underthrew him just a little bit, and that turned Hebert around, or else they would have had 6. But Hebert made the adjustment, nice catch, tried to tiptoe down the sideline and get in the end zone, but he goes out at the 7-yard line. And again, Hebert is an outstanding player. He played last year for the Maine Lions, and we did one game of theirs early in the year. He was just sensational. He had 2 touchdown catches and 4 catches for something like 160 yards on the night. He's a sensational receiver right out of Old Orchard Beach, Maine.
All right, again, when they go to the air, watch for number 81, Rob Hebert, and also Curtis Olds, number 7. Olds on the far side. To the near side this time, number 24, Ray Baggett. Cry is your quarterback. First down, just outside the 5-yard line. We'll call it the 6 for the Sabres. And Cry better get rid of the ball. And they're wide open for a touchdown. Is number 81, Rob Hebert. Now like that.
Tell you what, the offense, supposedly the run and shoot, they go after on offense, and that time they went up top quickly. 3 plays and a touchdown for the Maine Sabres.
They didn't waste any time whatsoever to go out on top 6-0. New Jersey Oaks had the football for about, at least 8 minutes of this first quarter. It took the Sabres and they didn't score anything. It took the Sabres a minute and a half, and they scored already.
And what a change from last week, Jeff. You had to sit up here in the booth and wait 3.5 quarters to see some points for Maine. This week, though, the offense is oiled and ready to go and going via the air. And Rob Hebert with the first touchdown of the season for the Maine Sabres.
Yeah, now don't forget, not only do we have to sit here and watch them not score any touchdowns or field goals or anything, we have to sit here and watch it rain here for 3 hours, too. All right, Goodrich comes on. He is the one of the veterans of this football team. Steve Goodrich, 34 years old, number 3, and it's no problem. We have a score, folks. 6 minutes, 29 seconds to go in the first quarter. You're watching Maine Sabres football right here on NEC TV. Jay Harper along with Jeff Peterson. The score, 7-0 Sabres. We'll be back in just a minute.
Join the staff at Shane's in supporting the historic Maine Sabres Football Club. And also join Shane's for breakfast on their deck from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Shane's Restaurant, Route 109, Sanford. Join us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to NEC TV. Are you enjoying the game? If your team is doing as well in this game as NEC has done over the past year, then you ought to be a very happy camper. Thanks to you, the viewer, this has been the best year ever for NEC TV. In April, NEC TV was presented the Electronic Media Award of the Maine Interscholastic Athletic Directors Association for dedicated service and contribution to high school sports. And in May...
Welcome back to Cobb Stadium here in Sanford, Maine. It is 7-0 to Sabers. Only took 3 plays to get a touchdown, and they're ready to kick it off. Guy who just kicked the extra point, Steve Goodrich, ready to kick it nice and deep. 3 players back deep for the Oaks.
That'll be Royster.
Royster's going to take the ball at about the 20-yard line. He breaks a couple of tackles, tiptoes down the sidelines, almost knocks the referee over, and it's going to be 1st and 10 around the 30-yard line for the Oaks.
Number 36, Chris Monk of the Sabers, almost took his head off down on the sideline, and that was close to being an out-of-bounds hit because I wasn't sure if Royster had gone out of bounds or not, but Monk was going to make sure he stayed out of bounds.
Let's go over our Coach Quinn checklist right now on keys to win this football game. Number 1, improve the offense. Well, I think that's probably an A so far. Anything can get better than what we saw in week number 1. Short drops by the quarterback. Cry only took about 3 steps back. Both times got rid of the football. Play defense like they did last week, except for a couple of penalties. I think they played pretty darn good. And also scuff up those logos. I think we need to do a better job at scuffing up the logos, though.
And there are a few players out there without the logos. And again, those are the guys who haven't paid their monies to be a member of the Sabers. So, guys, get your money in to President Blaisdell, and next week you can, too, have your logos on your helmet.
Coming close to an interception right there was number 21, Dale Bridges out of Wells. Boy, Bridges, if he would have caught that ball, there was nothing between him and the end zone. It could have been 14-0, just like that. So, Saber defense doing what it takes here early on.
And this kind of reminds me of hockey, Jeff, with the music intervals here. A little bit of pump up the volume.
Winters, the quick pitch. We got a fumble on the play. Picking the ball up, number 19, Josh Barstow. And this ball's going to the black jerseys this time. The Sabers will have it 1st and 10, and this is not what the Oaks want to see. The big thing in this football game, we talked about the heat. It is a little humid out there, and it's tough on defense to be out in that heat very long. And the New Jersey Oaks only have about 30 people on their whole roster. So now it's Maine offense once again.
It's amazing how well this Maine football team looks. It's early, but again, they're playing some outstanding competition. New Jersey last year, the Philadelphia Ramblers last 2 weeks ago, and now this week against another team from New Jersey, and feeling the Oaks hurting right now.
Okay, now I'm going to play devil's advocate right now. I'm going to stick up for the Oaks now. The Oaks, this is their first game. Folks, we're going to remind you about that. First game of the season as we see the handoff to my favorite name and yours, Boo Boo Glue, number 32. And it looks like right there, unless it's somebody's hanky that fell out of their pocket, that looks like a penalty flag to me. Usually in the places you'll see a holding call, and the Oaks pointing that away, which is, we're talking about that away, the black way, the Sabers way. Again, the Oaks, that is the call, holding, so it's moving back 10 yards. The Oaks, again, they're on the road, traveling a heck of a long way to play this football game this weekend. They're missing 12 people off their starting team. I mean, that's 12 solid players, talking to some of the coaches. And also, this is their first game of the season. They haven't even played exhibition. So if we want to stick up for the Oaks, but that's all. I'm not going to stick up for them any longer.
Oh, you did a good job, Jeff.
No excuses.
Well, if they're missing 12 players out of their starting lineup, then I can certainly say, yeah, they're in a disadvantage right now. Tough break for Maine on that one, a gain of 10 for Galoo, and they take it back.
All right, first down, 15 now, 40-yard line for the Maine Sabers. Here to the near side, doubling up on the wide receivers, you got Curtis Olds, and also number 24, Ray Magnan. That ball's incomplete. They were looking just for a quick pass right there to Magnan, and there was nothing doing that time.
Well, Cry thought Magnan was going to do a quick out, and Magnan did a quick in instead. And there was the misread on the quarterback receiver part. Ball goes incomplete.
And the Oaks were not fooled whatsoever. We weren't fooled either. We saw the ball was going to Magnan or Olds down there anyway. So if we could see it up here, the Oaks could see it no problem that time. So a second down at 15. And hats off to the cheerleaders. You can hear them cheering up a storm downstairs. They're all volunteers, just like the players, not getting paid, out here on their free time, entertaining the crowd. So hats off to everybody, all the concessionaires, the players, and the cheerleaders, just putting on one big entertainment show here week after week for the Maine Sabers football team. Second down, 15. Here's Cry back to pass. A little screen pass going over to number 81. And then again,
big
Rob
block
Hebert.
out there.
Wow. Hebert's got all kinds of room, and he's out of bounds for a first down inside the 25-yard line, near the 20.
What a block out there. Ed Scott, 73, along with number 66, Matt Kellett, just pummeled the would-be tackler. And Hebert had all kinds of room down the sideline.
Hello there. Welcome to Maine. Now get out of my way.
And that would-be tackler was saying, I thought this was vacation land.
Well, I tell you, some of these guys, these players, they come out and just beat up each other, you know, a couple times during the week during practice. They come out and play games on the weekend. I just cannot imagine what they feel like Monday morning when they try to wake up and go to their normal Monday through Friday job. First down at 10, 21-yard line. Cry, you quarterback. Olds here on the near side, your wide receiver. 7-0 Sabers. And he's looking upstairs to Olds, and Olds is there for the touchdown.
No flags. We have another 6 points for the Maine Sabers, and Cry is on target tonight. He is picking apart the secondary of the New Jersey Oaks.
And yes, for the third time tonight, Rocky gonna fly now from the PA system. 13-0 your score. Goodrich gonna come on to try to make it 14. And you know, talking to Coach Quinn, he said we play a wide-open offense, almost like a run and shoot. And when we're on this year, we are going to be really on. And we still have just under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter, and they could be really lighting up this scoreboard here tonight.
Well, Cry now 2 touchdown passes, a 7-yarder to Hebert, and a 21-yarder now to Olds. And Goodrich, that would have been good from about 45 yards out.
Count it. 3 minutes, 42 seconds to go here in the first quarter. You're watching Maine Sabres football right here on NEC TV Sports. Your score, Sabres 7, or actually, times that by 2. Sabres 14, New Jersey Oaks nothing. We'll be right back.
Headlight Audio, Visual, and Video is your complete rental service center in Maine. From large screen video data projection systems to lecterns, lighting, and meeting accessories, Headlight has it all. Headlight also provides professional services, including delivery and pickup, to the actual audio and videotaping of the event. Stop by Headlight Audio, Visual, and Video, 683 Forest Avenue in Portland.
Welcome back. Jeff Peterson, along with Jay Harper, here bringing you all the play-by-play of the Maine Sabres football game here on NEC TV Sports. I'd like to thank our producer and also cameraman, Steve Twombly, doing a heck of a job so far. We got flags all over the field. A short kick by Goodrich, taken by number 86, Keith Burton. And I got a feeling that's going to be offsides on the Sabres. And if I were the Oaks, I'm going to take the ball right where it is, 40-yard line.
Their best start of the evening. They have been further down the field.
Gonna wait and see the call. I got a feeling this is going to be offsides.
Goodrich got underneath that one, popped it straight up in the air. Sometimes those mistake kicks, though, can cause a lot of problems for the receiving team because the defense can get down under them and make a play like an onside kick.
Looks like we got some offsetting penalties. We have offsides called on the Sabres and a clip called on the Oaks. A little confusion down on the field. Now, I like seeing those referees. You know, it's kind of wild seeing the referees wearing shorts here for a change. I feel like I'm watching a football game in the fall in Florida or something as the refs have these short pants on.
Yeah, something's wrong with this picture, no doubt about it. And about the heat, I mean, game time, the temperature's still got to be into the 80s. Sanford is one of these towns in southern Maine that's off the coast just far enough, and it sits in a hot spot. And when it's warm out, Sanford is one of the hottest towns in southern Maine, and it is sweltering. Up here in the broadcast booth, I imagine what they're feeling down on the field.
Oh, pull out the air conditioning. Come on, it's getting hot. It's hot in here. All right, I'm kind of surprised, definitely, that they're not selling suntan lotion here for some of these referees.
But you'll never hear me, Jeff, complain about the warm weather. I am one who never says it's too hot. I like warm weather, and just turn up the heat. This is great.
I'll take it any day. Believe me, when you get snow in April and maybe even the first week of May, I'll take hot, sweltering weather for as long as it'll last. So stay here, please, and until at least September or so.
July 4th contest, it was probably about 45 degrees at game time. This one's about 85.
Oh, here we go. Just a quick handoff up the middle. The Sabers, oh, there we got another late flag. We've had about 7 or 8 penalties already, and this has been a penalty-plagued football game right now. The first game of the year against the Philadelphia Ramblers, pretty much penalty-free the first half. Second half we had a few, but boy, all of a sudden here it's just a little ratty here to play. A lot of yellow flags raining all over the place.
Well, this is tune-up time for the referees. They're getting ready for fall football, so they want to throw the flags as much as possible. Get used to going to that back pocket.
get the practice. They want to see
right.
who can throw the flag the farthest, too, come normal football season. So that was a pretty good one. I'd probably say that was a good 5 or 6 feet. That was, I guess, offsides. I can't really, it looked like a 5-yard penalty. They didn't really give us a signal. Well, it was a face mask. Okay, face mask, 5 yards.
McEwen again right in the middle of things for the Sabres defensively. Fumble again, looks like. Bobbled the ball, but he holds on.
All right, that was just a quick handoff right up the middle. Number 6, John Horn. Horn is their big man for the running game for the Oaks, but he has had little to do so far because of the Sabre defense.
McEwen and Dan DeLong of Wells in on the stop.
Get some of the players to watch on defense for the Sabres as you're watching the game on TV. Number 99, Craig Hutchins, also looking for a big game. All the coaches have been talking about number 59, Mike Drew out of Sanford. Played at the Air Force Academy. He had a couple of big tackles early on in the season. They said, Jeff, watch for Drew. He's going to have a big game tonight. You're going to be calling his name out an awful lot. So he better have a big game after he promised us that.
Well, coaches feel good about him.
Second down, College 4, fake handoff. Winters in trouble. A blanket of black jerseys, and he's just running out of bounds. Big defensive play there by number 33, Dan Dulong out of Wells, and I think we're going to get a hold calling the Oaks. Yet another penalty.
Again, Winter could have lost a lot more yards, though. He did a great job getting to the outside and getting out of bounds. He had 4 Sabres just coming right at him.
He could definitely hear footsteps that time. Getting a little scared when you have those big defensive linemen. I mean, you're talking about guys like Craig Hutchins. Craig Hutchins, 6'1", 215 pounds. Paul Boulay, 6'6", 285. Believe me, I'm running to the sidelines. I don't want those guys on top of me.
You're just hoping you got enough speed to get there.
Well, he made the sidelines at least, and it all goes for naught, too, because of the penalty. Now they're talking it over with the Sabres if they're going to take this holding penalty. Now the holding would send them back to about 2nd down and 14, where if they took the play, it would be 3rd down and about 4.
You got to take the penalty in this instance. 3rd and 4 is just too short, so they'll gamble and send them back. We got to get the DJ's name. There is a guy down there spinning tunes. And so far, very entertaining.
I'm just wondering when, Jay, you're going to get down there and dance a few and sing a few. If this game gets out of hand, you might have to.
I've been known to. No one will argue with that.
2nd down, 14 yards to go for the Oaks. Sputtering on offense. The Sabres helped them out on their first drive early on in this football game to get all the way down to the 30-yard line, but that sputtered too. So the Oaks offense really not doing a darn thing so far here tonight. There's Winters back to pass, and actually he gives a quick handoff up the middle, not going anywhere. That was Ronaldo with the play, and he gets about 6 or 7 yards. It's going to be 3rd down at about 6.
The running backs for the Oaks are not real fast, but they're big players, and Maine so far doing a good job holding on and not bouncing off. Horn and Romaldo, they're both big fullback types.
They call them halfbacks when I was talking to the coach. I'm going to have to disagree. Look at these guys. Look at number 6 here, John Horn. This guy's got to be at least 6 foot and about 220, and he can't be a halfback. That's a fullback. That's just some big guys in the backfield. It's tough to get down. There's a fumble, Winters. And let's see who's got the football here. Sabre players pointing their way. Oaks not saying anything, and it is Sabre football. Another turnover, number 3, and the first 2, that's any indication, ended up as Sabre scores.
And it is number 59, the guy we said to watch tonight. You were just harping on. Mike Drew, he's got a fumble recovery.
Coach Quinn right there giving him the hug, and Coach Quinn, we salute you. along with Mike Drew. You said we're going to be calling his name out a lot. Boy, that's about the third or fourth time, and he's son of a gun. He comes out with a fumble recovery.
Just a bad exchange with the center to the quarterback, and the Maine Sabers have their second turnover of the evening, and this thing could get ugly in a hurry. 29 seconds left in the first quarter. Maine up by 2 touchdowns, looking for 3.
Well, when you have a quarterback like Crine, receivers like Curtis Olds, and also Rob Hebert, this thing could get very, very ugly.
And we haven't seen Magnet yet. Let's look for number 24 to fit into this trio of receivers.
Going to the ground, that is number 1, Alvin Ross. Ross, a nice spin move there. Gets about 2 yards, 3 yards inside the 20-yard line. And Ross was a pivotal part of that football game in the opener for the Sabres. He ended up scoring their game-winning touchdown, and he had a couple of nice runs. So watch for him when they go to the ground to go for Boo Boo Glue and also number 1, Alvin Ross. And just so you're looking for the numbers, number 32 is Boo Boo Glue.
And Ross scored the first official touchdown of the 92 season of the Sabres.
A bit of history if that was, as they went on to win it 7-2. That is the end of the first quarter here at Cobb Stadium in Sanford. The score, Maine Sabres 14, New Jersey Oaks nothing.
Soothing relief for those nasty marketing problems. Print Mail of Maine. From your initial consultation straight through the final printing, Print Mail of Maine is truly the multi-symptom marketing remedy. And if your order needs mailing, relax. We can handle it. Print Mail of Maine. Now get some rest.
You are watching a man have a heart attack.
Bob, your breakfast is ready.
He's hoping it's nothing, but he knows the signs.
Here's your salad. Hey, you feel all right?
And now is the time he should be getting help. Getting to the hospital at the first signs of an attack can save your life.
Better get me to a hospital.
Remember, your life is in your hands.
Second quarter action coming at you here at Cobb Stadium in Sanford. Jeff Peterson along with Jay Harper bringing you all the play-by-play of Maine Sabres football. Not only playing for a victory, but playing for charity, and wide open, nothing getting in his way almost, was number 32, Boo Boo Glue. And can you tell I like that name?
Yeah, it's a great name. His parents must have been really thinking of that when they named that child at birth.
They're thinking, wait a minute, if this guy ever makes it big in football, that'd be a great name for a candy bar. Boo Boo Glue, I think they could really sell. Watch out.
And he's going to give the Sabres a first down and goal to go just inside the 10-yard line. Sabres are looking good on the ground and in the air. Offensively, just super this evening.
All right, and somebody, of course, we're going to be naming all night long, number 35, John McQueen. He plays the defensive line, and now he's in as a fullback, just a block. And there's Boo Boo again. Boo Boo inside the 5. He smells that goal line, but the New Jersey Oaks
He almost got the
Boo Boo,
football stripped from him. Trying real hard. I got to get his number. Was a New Jersey player trying to pull that ball out of Galou's hands, but he didn't quite get there. Number 2, that was Darren Royster.
McQueen coming off the football field right now, and I think that's a definite sign that they might be going to the air here this time. McQueen comes in when he's blocking for Boo Boo Glue or Alvin Ross. Passing situation on the far side of the field, number 24, Ray Magnet. Near side, Curtis Olds. Again,
watch Magnet this time. He's got sole coverage out there to the wide side of the field.
There you go, the pass, just like I said, and just a little bit overthrown, and they're looking for a push-off that time. Curtis Olds looking all over the place for a pass interference call, but he is not going to get it on defense. I think it was Anthony McQueen here. Anthony Meechin, we'll call it. Can't even read my writing here. It's getting dark in the press box.
Well, actually, Jeff, it's not your writing, it's mine, so that's the problem. We'll let you slide on that one.
All right, the Sabres are going to talk this over. They didn't want to ruin this opportunity. Third down, goal to go at the 4-yard line. Having a chance to go up 21-0 in this football game. Hey, let's go over and talk it over with Coach Quinn. And we got to talk about it. We talked about it early on in the first quarter. Some of the people, not only the players and the concessionaires, the ticket takers, all these people do not get paid, but Also, the young ladies down on the sidelines on the track that are rooting up a storm with their pom-poms. And Jay Harper, let's give them a good lineup here and a good introduction.
Well, this is my hometown area, the Thornton-Biddeford rivalry. Now, as you get out of high school, you don't care anymore. They become your friends. You hated them back in high school, and this is great. Starting from left to right, Deborah Bouffard of Thornton Academy. Next to her, Lynn Lavagna of Rumford. Pam Morawski of Thornton. Debbie Paquette of Biddeford. Angie McAuliffe of Thornton. Tina Archambault of Biddeford. Lori Willette of TA. And Jen Fernald of Thornton Academy. So you got Thornton Academy and Biddeford cheerleaders, X1s, of course, and then a one Rumford thrown in there for good measure, and that makes up the Maine Sabers cheering squad.
But who's the little one down here?
I don't know if her name was included in that or not. They didn't give the size or weights, and of course, typically of women, they won't give you that. So I don't know which one she is.
All right, back to the action on the football field. Big play right now, especially for the Oaks if they want to stay in this football game. 13 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Second quarter, already 14-0. Third down and goal at the 4. Looking over the middle. Oh, it is tipped up. The pass from Cry was looking for number 81. That, of course, was Hebert, and Hebert had his hands on the ball, and if he would have used that Elmer's glue or stick him, he would have had himself a touchdown.
A great read there by Hebert, though, to stay with it. Royster came flying across, tipped it. Royster could have had a chance at an interception, but he was stumbling, and he got his hands on the ball, and that caused Hebert to lose sight of it for a moment. He juggled it out of the back of the end zone, and now, big decision time. 4th down and goal, and they've sent in McEwen and Boo Boo Galoo, so it looks like they're going to stay with the offense and not try to kick a field goal here.
Oh, why not? They've been moving on the New Jersey defense so far, so what the heck? Up 14-0, they want to rub it in and make it 21-zip here, so why not go for it on 4th down? And even if they don't make it, the Oaks are going to be in a tough situation back deep in their own territory. There again, McEwen again, he's the fullback, and there's the handoff right to Boo Boo. Boo Boo right at the goal line. He is stopped. Great play by the defense. Some of the guys on the carry, number 2, Darren Royster, number 3, Anthony Meechin.
And I'll tell you what, number 57, John Hampton, was in that too. McEwen was leading the way, and McEwen just put a big hit out in front. And, I mean, he knocked his man into the end zone, but then there was 2 other Oaks players right there to meet Galoo. And as hard as he hit McEwen, hit the defensive players, Galoo got hit that hard and got stopped just short of the goal line.
You know, I've never seen a white brick wall, but that's as close as you can get. Boy, Boo Boo Glue looked like he was going to go in for a touchdown, but he ran into 3 white jerseys, and they just pushed him right back. Now it looked like an easy touchdown, but now this is the kind of play, you know, the Sabers, they're cruising along 14-0, looking to go up 21-0, knocking at the door for a touchdown, and the Oaks come up with a big defensive play to stop him short of a touchdown. You talk about a shift of momentum here. We'll have to see how the Oaks react now.
It really was a big decision for the Sabers when they went on 2nd down and short yardage to go on top, because the running game is working for them there. And you saw it on 4th down and 3, they went to the running game. Why didn't they do that on 2nd and 3rd down? You kind of have to second-guess that now. Had they scored, of course, you wouldn't even thought twice about it. But in this scenario, you would think now they made the wrong move.
I love second-guessing, though. Isn't it fun?
Of course it is. That's what we're here for.
We can always blame the coaches, and we're always going to be right.
That's right.
All right, we're talking 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Again, your quarterback, Paul Winters, played his college ball at the University of Kentucky for a couple of years. There's the quick give, and the Oaks just keeping the ball on the ground, just a ground chuck here today, and that was the handoff to number 2, Darren Royster, or actually, forgive me there, number 6, John Horn, and nothing doing.
Mike Drew, number 59, in on the stop for the Sabers, so his name starts to appear.
3rd down, and the Oaks are going to have to go to the air right now. About 80% of their plays have been on the ground, and it's a perfect example of the Sabers will probably be guessing pass, and who knows, why not throw out a blitz at them? What the heck?
You know, this game's important for a couple of reasons. Besides staying undefeated and keep this thing rolling on, there's a couple of sponsors hanging in the balance. Dave Blaisdell, the president, tells me that if they can win and win big, that there should be some more monies on the way from a couple of businesses in the area.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? And look at the defense
safety.
Right there.
Got a safety there. Yes. Drew almost had a touchdown as he pulled the ball out at the end.
Drew, actually, you know, the ball did pop loose, but it is a safety. Give him 2 points. Oh, wait, the officials are talking it over right now, and it is a safety. So the Sabers give them 2, and they're going to go up 16-0, and there's that defense swarming.
Certainly was. And Winter had no place to go. He had 3 or 4 people. He tried to fight his way out of the end zone, but every time he got forward, another Saber player was there to hit him. And I'll tell you.
One of the big players on that play also, number 57, Mark Oliver. McEwen was there. Also Craig Hutchins, all of them, about 4 or 5 black jerseys to give them 2 points. And the defense, they love to do that. You know, a lot of times the offense gives all the credit. The quarterback's the superstar. You know, the defense comes up with big play after big play, but they never get to put those points on the board. So anytime you can get a safety, return a fumble for a touchdown or an interception, boy, that is something on the defense can talk about for the rest of the season.
Well, if they're going to give those points out, there'd be about a half a point for 4 different players for the Sabers. And now the Sabers will get the football back as the Oaks will have to kick it away from their own 20.
You know what I'm going to have to think right now? I did the first game a couple of weeks ago when they played the Ramblers, and it was funny. You know, sometimes when you're for the semi-pro leagues, sometimes, even though they're very well organized, sometimes it does get a little bit disorganized. And during the first week, it was funny because the Saber players show up in their black jerseys, and the Ramblers show up in their black jerseys, too. So you talk about trying to call a football game. Both teams were wearing their black jerseys 2 weeks ago, and it was tough to go, who in the heck is who? And the officials, I'm sure, were having a heck of a time now. And thank goodness we got the uniforms checked out. So the Oaks are in the white and the Sabers are in the black. But they are doing a good job, though. Not saying they were doing a bad job.
The brass of the Sabers made darn sure that New Jersey was traveling with white uniforms on their way to Maine.
All right, there's the kick, and the Sabres going to get great field position out of this.
Galoo with the football.
There's Boo-Boo, and look at this. If he gets by one more player right here, he could go for a while. Past midfield, inside the 45-yard line, and the Sabres are in great field position. So after the defense comes up with that big safety, that, of course, sets up the free kick. They're going to get great field position, and Boo-Boo Glue gets them inside Oak territory.
A nice return on the kickoff from the 20. And Maine doing their stuff. The crowd has grown quite a bit since the start of the contest. And Maine looking brilliant this evening. And the lights are on now at Cobb Stadium in Sanford.
You know, and I'm just looking back here. I think David Blaisdell, the president, heard us talking about him because he just walked in and hit me on the head. We were just saying, thank goodness, one team more black and one team more white this time. There you go. Thank goodness the Oaks only have white uniforms. There's the pitch. On the near side here to Alvin Ross, and boy, that was a heck of a hit there by the Oaks.
Anthony Meechin, number 3, and on the stop. He came up and lifted Ross's legs right out from underneath him.
You know, the thing we really don't talk about a lot is, of course, they're playing to win. These players, you can't deny it, they want to win the football games. They're out here raising money for charity with the Sabres. But a lot of these players, a lot of the younger ones, maybe in their mid-20s or whatever, just out of college, I mean, a lot of them would really like another shot at possibly playing some professional football. You never know if there's going to be a professional scout around. You know, you have so many football leagues these days. You have the Arena Ball, you have the World League of American Football, and a little bit of everything. So some of these players, you know, are worth getting a shot at maybe playing in the pros.
Well, this is a great venue for some more glory, too. I mean, Springsteen sang about it, glory days, and you live back to your high school days, but now you don't have to live back. You can live it in the present by playing, and it's a great arena because they're getting covered on local cable TV. It's getting aired on various outlets in southern Maine, so other people can still see them play football, and they do it for themselves, but they also do it for some recognition, I'm sure.
Oh, and you know, some of the players, too, talking to them, and they were going, well, you know, in high school, a lot of times we were with a lot of stars, you know, in high school, and we come out here and play with the Sabres, and actually we can be a name now. I could be a star. I never had my name in the paper or anything. Now coming out here and playing, I can get my name in the paper and actually get some notoriety and have some fun.
Well, I know players like Rob Hebert and Ray Magnet. Of course, Magnet played for a very opened offense for Biddeford, but a lot of these receivers, high school ball didn't air it up enough, and now in this, they can get out there and really get some receiving time, some balls thrown at them. I know I would have loved that.
Oh, you know, and then again, a lot of these players really wanted to play. There was Hebert wide open here on the far side, giving them all kinds of room. Looking to break a couple of tackles. He could go.
Yes.
Inside the 20. One more blocker, and his knee goes down, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. Nobody touched him, and what are they going to call? Is it a touchdown? It is.
This is semi-pro ball, not high school ball. So that knee going down did not stop him. And Hebert, I'm telling you, the guy can not only catch the football, but once he catches it, he's as dangerous as before he does. The man can really move down the sideline, and again, a nice cutback move. And his second touchdown. Hebert
looked like he was dead in the water on the far side of the field. Had about 5 yards. He broke 2 tackles. Then he's tiptoeing down the sidelines, breaks 2 more. Then he had just a clean way all the way to the end zone, and finally had 1 more guy to beat, slipped a little bit, but he said, hey, nobody touched me, so he got up and ran in for the end zone. Touchdown. And, folks, it's 22-0 right now. Goodrich trying to make it 20-23-0, and this could be a rout. And Goodrich misses one for a change. Doesn't happen that often. 8 minutes, 38 seconds to go. It is 22-0 Sabers. We still have a long ways to go in this football game. And so far, which Coach Quinn was talking about, the offense needs to turn it around and air it up. They've been doing just that.
As they say up here in Maine, it's looking good for the homeboys. They're playing some football. Hebert, just outstanding. I think he has 5 receptions now in the first half. And let's go back to the other end of that. Cry, of course, a little screen out to the flat that time, but he is putting the ball where it has to be tonight, and he is on target. I think he's only thrown 1 incomplete pass in this first half, and the Maine Sabers are doing everything right in this contest.
All right, 22-0, and the defense keeps playing like it is. Oaks are going to have a long night here in Sanford, Maine. Playing in this hot, humid weather here at Cobb Stadium is not going to be fun.
No, I don't think they're having fun right now.
You know, we're getting close to halftime, and I can't wait. During the first game, I went down there. You know, they have some pretty darn good hot dogs here. I know you come to football games a lot, and I can't believe, I'm so excited. 8 minutes, 38 seconds to go. It's almost hot dog time.
Well, there you go, Jeff. Put some mustard on it, and you got yourself a dog. But tonight, need a lot of liquids.
Oh, it's a hot one, and a lot of the players, the helmets off. A lot of Gatorade canisters down near the field. Sweating up a storm. Where's that Gatorade for us? That's what I want to know. Where's our Gatorade canner?
Well, Jeff, you told me you originated from California, but growing up here in Maine, you know, the Maine football talents were always questioned to go on to play college play. They always said they weren't big enough, they weren't fast enough, they weren't quick enough. In the last 5 years, we've dispelled that by sending some great players like McQueen, and now in this league, it's really showing.
Darren Royster takes the kickoff and runs it back to about the 28-yard line, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but what a block by number 79. Who we got 79 there for New Jersey? I don't even know if we got a number there.
Yeah, he came in, John Whitfield.
Whitfield, I can't read that. Whitfield, boy, what a heck of a block. I don't know who he threw on the Sabers, but he blocked him about 10 yards down the field. It just nailed him. He went flying.
I think he caught Mark Chastity for Maine.
Mark Chastity's going to feel that Monday morning when he wakes up. A heck of a block. Now, the big thing now, the Oaks really need to put a score on before the end of the first half. There's still plenty of time. There's 8 minutes, 5 seconds to go. First half of this football game, the Oaks have not been able to do a darn thing in this game. They've been keeping the ball on the ground. Real conservative offense, and they really have to put it up in the air.
New quarterback in for the Oaks. Lionel Jefferson, number 7, now taking the snap.
And they're not going anywhere. I couldn't even imagine to tell you who got that football. It looks like that's number 32, and then, of course, is
Romaldo.
It's Romaldo again getting it. One of those big halfbacks who are really fullbacks, but they put him down as halfbacks on the roster.
But getting back to that Maine talent in football, you know, a lot of the players couldn't get out of the state to play college ball, and they said they weren't big enough or good enough, and they wouldn't look at them. And now there's been a lot of players. Dennis Gadbois of Biddeford went on to play for the Patriots very briefly. And you got McQueen, of course, going on, being very successful in college ball. And there's others now doing it, and they're starting to look. And then when you got a team from Maine in semi-pro ball kicking the butts of teams from Philadelphia, New Jersey, and whatnot, it really shows you there's some darn good football players here in the state of Maine. And hopefully colleges and professional scouts will now start taking a look up here.
Oh, there is some talent. And you know, just proving it last week against a team like Philadelphia is we have a penalty flag go down, and I got a feeling this is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct or a late hit. Calling our good man, number 59, Mike Drew, we've been talking about so often here. Yep, personal foul. That's going to tack on 15 yards. Unnecessary. Quarterback, number 7, Lionel Jefferson, had already handed the ball off, and Drew came right in and just gave him a whack.
Wasn't that the son on the Jefferson's name?
Lionel.
Yeah, close. But I'd like to mention the PA announcer down below, Bud Sawyer from WPOR, is very involved in the Maine Sabers, and we should be speaking to him at halftime.
Talk a little country music, too.
But, of course, well known in these parts, especially to the country music fans.
which I haven't heard one country music song all night. We've had a little Elvis Presley, a little rap, a little rock.
He's the PA announcer, not the DJ. I think they're separate entities tonight.
Bud's going to probably go grab that tape recorder and put on the Gatlin Brothers or something. All right, first down at 10, 45-yard line for the Oaks. Again, most of their yardage has been due to penalties. And
oh, my God.
My, look at 98. Paul Boulay, just like Godzilla, all over Jefferson, and he wasn't going anywhere.
That's a great description, Godzilla, because that was a mauling in the backfield.
It was like Night of the Grizzly. Just put his big paws way up in the air and just kind of put a big bear hug around him and tossed him to the ground. Jefferson wasn't going anywhere. Well, he could cast a major shadow like a skyscraper out there when he puts his arms up.
Well, one of our first cliches of the night, we have used a few, Jeff, but the Sabres are clawing all over the Oaks.
Oh, boy, are they. The Oaks really, down 22-0, they're going to have to mix it up just a little bit better. But honestly, they're not getting a chance when they're running the ball. They just don't have the speed with their halfbacks / fullbacks to get on the outside. The holes haven't been big enough up the middle. And for passing, Jefferson and then their quarterback early on today, who was number 4, Paul Winters, they just haven't had any time at all. There's Jefferson, slips this time, and he's going down to get
ball loose.
Like
ball loose on the field. They're both pointing each other's way.
That's what I love. The Sabres say we have the ball. The Oaks say we have the ball, but it's going New Jersey's way.
Jefferson had a little bit of time, but then he slipped and the blocking fell apart, and there was the pass rush in his face.
Third down, 15 yards, ball at the 37-yard line. It's almost like the Oaks are just marked timing in place. Just not going anywhere. We're talking about some of the coaches early on for this Maine Sabre team. You have Dan Quinn, formerly of University of Dayton. He helped out Pittsburgh Steelers for a while, playing for Chuck Noll, along with Franco Harris and Terry Bradshaw. No wonder we see the black and the gold jerseys down there in pants.
Voila. I was wondering where they came up with the black and yellow, and there it is.
Shame on you, Dan Quinn. Where's the red, white, and blue of the Patriots? Look at Jefferson. Jefferson's not going anywhere. He picks up a good 8 yards, but he's going to be well short of a first down.
Jeff, they wanted this team to win. Therefore, we did not go with the Patriots of red, white, and blue. We went with a traditional great football franchise, and the Steelers and the Sabres looking a lot alike this evening.
Boy, they have their own little Sabres/steel curtain here tonight after that big tackle by Boulay and also McEwen up there. And just like every other time here tonight, except when they turn the ball over, Jersey Oaks going to be punting it away. Curtis Old's going to be back deep for the Sabres. And looking back on that coaching staff again, we talked about Dan Quinn, who has really been out there working his tail off with this football team. He is really dedicated bringing a winner here to the state of Maine.
You got head coach Dan Quinn, and then you got your assistant coach, Mario Barros.
Of course, Dave Dutch of Berwick is the defensive coach, and Jerry Burnham of Naples. And we're going to take a timeout on the field. Still plenty of time to go in the first half. 5 minutes, 8 seconds to go. I'm Jeff Peterson along with Jay Harper. Maine Sabres football on NEC TV Sports. It is all Sabres, 22-0.
Join the staff at Shane's in supporting the historic Maine Sabres Football Club. And also join Shane's for breakfast on their deck from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Shane's Restaurant, Route 109, Sanford. Join us.
I really don't think so. Down 22-0. They don't want to have that backfire on it, too. Curtis Holt is deep, standing around his 15-yard line. And it's great in these semi-pro leagues. You wear many different hats, and that was number 2, Darren Royster, who's been a wide receiver. He's been receiving the kickoffs, taking back the punts, playing defensive back. You do it all in this league, and he just punted the ball, got about a 30-yard punt, and the Sabres will be taking over at their own 34-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, with the 12 players not coming with New Jersey, Royster forced into that, and you do it all, or at least you try to do it all. That time he shanked one off to the right, and Maine with great field position at their own 34-yard line. 3 minutes, 28 seconds left. We should see another 6 if things continue the way they have so far in this first half.
You know, with those 12 guys out, too, and the heat involved with the humidity, you never know. They might run out of players and a little exhaustion, and they might be pointing up to you or I. I hope not.
Me too.
They don't want me.
I'm not playing against this black and gold.
All right, Sabre offense on the field. Nice running there, really not going for it. It looked like it was going to be a little more than it was, and that was number 47.
Gary Stewart.
There was Gary Stewart. Gary Stewart just added to the ball club about a couple of weeks ago, playing his first game. Nice little run up the middle. Looked like he was really going to break it for something. Coming out the field, one of the big linemen, number 77, Dan Gugliano. We always like to say the names of those big guys up front. They never get the recognition they deserve. They're up there grunting and moaning and hitting and scratching and just working up a storm, playing and play out. So
the guys in the trenches.
In the trenches.
Nice quick opening there.
You know, we have to tell you right there, for some reason, number 23, Jamie Rulin, came in to play quarterback. Pry has sat down. I don't know if Pry is injured or they don't want to run up the score, or they're just giving Rulin a couple of snaps to get used to it. I'm not really sure. We still have 2 minutes, 25 seconds to go here in the first half. Pry's got his baseball cap on the sidelines. And he might be finished for the night. Who knows? You know, I tell you, that's one good thing when you get a lead like 22-0 this early in the season. Might as well make sure you have a backup quarterback.
Well, I think we'll see Rulin finish out the half, and then I think you'll see Cry back in the second half. It's too early to take him out for the whole game.
All right, Gary Stewart, and of course we're seeing all kinds of different names and faces now as Stewart runs it up the middle. Alvin Ross is on the sidelines also. Boo-boo glue. And the most important thing, I don't care who was just running the football, President Dave Blaisdell just brought us up a couple of Cokes.
Well, that's our pay for the night, so enjoy it, Jeff.
Touchdown.
And Maine picks up another first down. 2-minute warning. And Rulin brings back the offense. And let's see if Jamie looks to go on top.
Looking around, anything was better than that crowd they had on the 4th of July. It was raining, cold night, the fog was rolling in, and they were lucky to have a couple of hundred. They were faithful fans, I'll say that much. But tonight, no excuses at all for the fans not to be out at this football game. They have a very talented football team to watch. Beautiful evening. No complaints at all. Unless there was something good on TV. I don't know what's on TV on Saturday nights, but there's no excuses.
There is no TV until 11:30 on Saturday night, and you catch Saturday Night Live. Before that, you might as well just turn off the TV. Of course, unless you're going to turn on News Channel 13, that is, Jeff.
Of course. Give them that plug.
There you go.
Now, I got to give you a plug, too. During the high school season, you can watch all the high school football games here in the southern part of Maine on CTV 30 in Saco. How's that for a plug?
That's a good plug. That'll work for us, Jeff. I interned with Channel 13, of course, before you were there with the people, Tom Karen and Jimmy Young, who's no longer there, and a good bunch of people at News Channel 13.
And we can't forget to tip our hats, of course, to NEC TV Sports. Steve Twombly doing a heck of a job on camera, and of course the broadcast, the way they edit these games together, they make us look good.
They're a great bunch of people. CTV 30 and NEC get together during the year a few times. Thornton Biddeford games, of course, we worked together. And last year, we had 2 of the most amazing high school football games ever played in the state of Maine between Thornton and Biddeford, and we had a 3-camera shoot on a couple of those games, and it was just amazing. Of course, Thornton winning the first one, and Biddeford coming back and winning the most important one that sent them to the state championship game, and of course, Biddeford winning once again.
A lot of timeouts being called. First the Sabres called one, now the Oaks calling one. I think somebody had to go to the store and get some Gatorade or something, but we've been having a timeout for a while. Let's check out the action. Of course, game 2 of the season. The Maine Sabres looking to go 2-0. Now, I want all you folks, you've been watching this high-powered offense, this deadly defense, how good this football team is. They're playing the Oaks, which is a pretty darn good football team. Now, write this down. Go get the pencil. Write this date down. August 1st. It's a Saturday night, 7 o'clock. And, my goodness, they haven't said the site yet. We'll tell you in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. There's a few of those TBAs.
To be announced. But in all probability, I think it's going to be played in Rumford. Now, I'm guessing on this. Don't go rush out and buy your tickets just yet. Give me just a couple of minutes, but I think it's Rumford.
Steve says it's Rumford.
It's Rumford. We'll go with Rumford.
Well, that's because the one cheerleader, Lynn Lavagna, she's bringing the team up there. She wants to go to her hometown and play a football game.
And everyone's going to Lynn's house for dinner afterwards, right?
Dinner or something thereof.
I hope Lynn heard that. We're all going to dinner at her place after the football game. All right, back to the action after that 5-minute timeout. First down, or actually second down, 11 yards to go. I was looking at the scoreboard. There's the quick handoff, and Stewart seeing a lot of actions, which means for him on Monday is going to see a lot of bumps and bruises. And Cry's coming back in with third down and 11 yards to go. Passing situation.
Zoom in on those guys coming in because right there, that's offense. Cry, Hebert, Olds, Magnet. Wow. And they're into the lineup, and let's not forget number 32, Boo Boo Galoo. And I'm not sure. You're saying glue. I'm saying glue. I'm hearing it different ways, and we're going to have to check at halftime the exact pronunciation because it looks like glue the way it's spelled, but they've been telling me there's actually like an A that doesn't exist.
I got a great way just to fix that. We'll just call him Boo Boo. That's it. Just call him Boo Boo. That's a better name for the candy bar anyway. 3 names are just not going to fit on that package. Just Boo Boo Bar, and that'd be better. All right, Cry back in the ball game here with a passing situation. Gets rid of the ball, and he throws up a lame duck. He was looking for number 24, which happens to be Ray Magnet, and it dropped about 5 yards in front of him. It's going to bring up a 4th down and a long ways to go, so in comes Goodrich and the punting team.
37 seconds left of the first half.
Well, Maine, that time, being conservative until that last play, they brought Cry back in, and you knew they were going to go on top. And the New Jersey Oaks with excellent coverage downfield. And Magnet was blanketed, and he threw it short. Magnet didn't have enough time to stop and come back for the ball.
You know, we're talking about future football games here with the Maine Sabers. Of course, in a couple of weeks, August 1st, we've nailed that down. That is Rumford. They're playing the New Jersey Raiders, not to be confused, of course, with the Los Angeles Raiders. I think Jay Schrader and Marcus Allen will be there. But coming up, the big one you really want to start thinking about is October 3rd. They're going to be playing the Russian national team, a big friendship football game. And down on our schedule is to be played at the ballpark in Old Orchard Beach, 7 o'clock. Mark that down in your calendar. That should be a lot of fun. East versus West. The Russians and the Americans. It'll be the Russian national team and the Maine Sabers. And then coming up a little later in November, if you want to buy your tickets and go on a nice little vacation, head on over to the former Soviet Union over in Russia. And they're going to be taking on a couple of teams in Russia. And that's going to be taking place November 22nd and also November 26th. They're going to be playing a game on Thanksgiving Day against the Russian national team in Moscow, a 1 o'clock start, just in case you want to go, if you want to make it over there. And it's BYOT, bring your own turkeys on that day. The Maine Sabers are bringing the meat for their Russians' first ever Thanksgiving dinner, so it's going to be one heck of a party overseas.
Royster on the return that time. Hutchins, along with number 58, Mike Porter, just added to the roster this week on the stop. And 17 seconds to play in the first half. And that Russian thing is an amazing thing put together by the brass of the Maine Sabers, and it should be outstanding. And, of course, that should draw a huge crowd. And, again, that's great because it benefits all these needy causes throughout southern Maine and, of course, the country. But it's not as much fun now that the Cold War is all over.
You just can't get the speed up on those Russians.
You don't want to hate them anymore. You want to thank them for getting rid of communism. And now that they want to be Americanized, you want to help them learn how to do the things that we get to do here in America.
Well, you know, the Americans have been helping them out. They go over there and put on clinics for football, and the Russians learning how to play not only football, but they're learning how to play baseball. I remember, what was it, when was it, last summer I was reading about a baseball game. An American team played the Russian team, and the final was like 36-0 or something. It's going to take a while, but I think that the Russians are going to catch on with some of the American sports like baseball and football.
And what they say to us is come over here and do some weightlifting with us, or
play some hockey.
Yeah, hockey. And they're not too bad in track and field either.
I don't know. So again, that date, October 3rd, the ballpark, Old Orchard Beach, the Russian team, and taking on the Maine Sabers. Should be a lot of fun. So write that down in your calendar. We have 11 seconds to go in this first half that has lasted eternity for the New Jersey Oaks. Jefferson in trouble. Look at him. I don't know how he got out of that mess. Ball's tipped up in the air, and it came very close to catching. It was number 8, Paul Dunleavy, and it happened to get the right tip. Dunleavy would have caught that ball around the 30 and ran all the way for a touchdown. But that's ifs, and the if didn't happen.
Jefferson doing a great job of scrambling and got outside and got the ball up. Looked like he had some open territory, but Maine stayed with the receiver, and that stops the clock. 2 seconds. This should be the final play of the first half.
Okay. Jefferson, quarterback, you can guess. He really, by the way I saw that ball, I really have not seen him be able to throw any kind of a bomb at all. That ball was thrown on the run, maybe went about 30 yards, and they're going to try to line some guys. I just don't see any speedsters. We have number 22, Kevin Mcquitter, who hasn't seen the ball at all here on the near side. Look at all the room he's getting. He's getting like 15 yards here, which is, of course, self-explanatory with 2 seconds to go.
Offsides on Maine, and it's not going to be the last play. Unbelievable.
Jefferson says, I don't want any part of you guys at all. I'm just getting rid of the ball. There was a penalty flag. I don't even want a free play.
I spoke too soon. That will not be the last play because offsides on the defense. That means one more play, folks.
Bill Courier, number 91, some big-time pressure that time, causing havoc for the Oaks offense. But the Oaks offense has been causing havoc by themselves. I mean, they just have not been able to do anything. They really have no kind of offense at all. They just have not been able to run the ball. They haven't been able to pass the ball. They've been able to move on penalties, and that's about it. So they've been good at walking. Again, the clock might say 0 right now, but there's one free play left.
And Josh Barstow, number 19, playing free safety down at the 35-yard line. He'll be looking for a last-second interception. Being a former free safety myself, I used to love this time. Just sit back there and read the quarterback's eyes. Get over there, get yourself an INT.
It's like catching a punt, and then Jefferson lets it go.
There he is. Oh, the ball was caught and hit, and it comes loose. They're saying incomplete, and that will be the last play of the first half.
Jeffrey Sorrell had the ball just for a split second. It was knocked right out of his hands in a very, very impressive first half by the Maine Sabers.
There's no question about that. The Sabers did everything right. Their offense was superb. Their defense caused a couple of turnovers. The only thing they did wrong was a few penalties, but you look up at the scoreboard, and you got to be impressed with the Maine Sabers.
Let's go over the scoring really quickly. Cry to Hebert, 7-0, touchdown pass. Olds with a 21-yard reception for TD, 14-0. Mark Oliver recovers, or actually tackles, Winters in the end zone for a safety to make it 16-0, and then a 13-yarder to Hebert in the second quarter to make it 22-0. Goodrich is, boy, it just goes on and on and on with the scoring here. That made it 22-0 here in this football game. Believe me, it has been all Maine Sabers. So, that is the end of the first half here, folks, and Jay, so far, so good.
Certainly is, and this is what we came out here for. It's exciting, and the home team's winning. So I don't mind a blowout as long as the home team's up on the scoreboard, and so far it's been great.
And what this means, the end of the first half, not only are we going to go to commercial, but Jay and I are going to go get a hot dog. You're going to watch the cheerleaders, so have some fun. Score 22-0 Maine. We'll be back with the halftime entertainment in just a minute.
Wormwood's by the Breakwater, a family restaurant, has been owned and operated by the Wormwood family for over 44 years. Serving the finest seafood and certified Angus beef, Wormwood's restaurant is located at Cape Ellis Beach off Route 9 in Saco, Maine. Open 11:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Wormwood's by the Breakwater.
Hey, it's nice to see you again. You were wondering what happened to me, weren't you? Well, just a minor scrape. Everyone gets sidelined once in a while, but my time on the reserve list gave me a chance to enjoy our Athletic Directors Award, and it reminded me of another award. In May, at Ceremonies for Cable's National Ace Awards, we were recognized as one of the 5 top contributors of video features on local athletes for ESPN's Scholastic Sports America program. And things just keep getting better.
Welcome back, halftime of this CIFL game. Maine Sabers up 22-0, no problem whatsoever. And, you know, it's hot and humid tonight, but one guy that had to wear his colors in his warm jacket, WPOR morning man, Bud Sawyer, who was also the a public relations person. If he's taking his coat off now, he already gave the plug to 101.9, and Bud does the mornings. You have to hear him every single day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. What brings you out here to help out the cause here, Maine Sabers?
Well, it goes back a number of years as far as the Sabres are concerned. It started with alumni football games in Kennebunk and Wells to raise money for kids, and then all of a sudden they said, well, let's do it a little different this year. And the third year they put together a team of pickup kids, and some pretty good pickup kids, and all of a sudden they brought in a club from New Jersey in this league, and at halftime it was 30-zip. And they said, gee whiz, I believe we got a team here, and we really ought to apply for membership in the Continental League. And once they did that, it just became, the thing has just mushroomed and exploded into goodwill. I cannot say enough, Jeff, about the young men, and some of them are younger than others, the young men that make up the Sabres, because the amount of work they put in, they buy their own equipment, they do their own thing, and they come out here week after week and night after night, and go home sore sometimes, I'm quite sure. But it's all volunteer, it's all to help. It's all to help kids. And all the way from the Children's Dream Factory to tonight's beneficiary, the Children's Cancer Research. There's just so many wonderful things going on as far as the Sabres are concerned, and I urge people to see excellent football and also to participate in this great gift-giving that these, share in this gift-giving that these guys are involved in.
All right, again, Bud Sawyer with WPOR Radio, and also public relations person for the Maine Sabres, and 22-0 now. Boy, could it get worse here for the other team?
Well, you know, it's a hot night, and things can change in the second half, and I, you know, knock on wood and all that kind of stuff, but these guys
just tell them they're going to win and beat the heck out of them.
Yeah, well, fellas, do well. We love it.
All right, Bud Sawyer, thank you very much. And now let's go to the action in the second half. Right now, 22-0. We'll be back in just a minute.
If it's going to happen for you, it's because you make it happen.
Radio check, 3666, 7 miles northeast with the cardiac.
The answer could be an Air Force ROTC scholarship. You'll get an education and the training to become an Air Force officer. With an Air Force ROTC scholarship, you can go as far as your talent and drive take you. Aim high, Air Force.
Welcome back to Sanford and Cobb Stadium. The Maine Sabres leading 22-0, just visiting with Bud Sawyer, and we're back to action. Maine facing a second down and 9 yards. Magnet 23-yard return on the kickoff, and then the handoff to Galoo for 1 yard, and that's where we stand. Jay Harper along with Jeff Peterson.
Yeah, I don't care how much he wants to plug his radio station. It's hot out here, and I wouldn't be caught dead and wearing one of those jackets.
Hebert in the flats. Look out. Here he goes. He's got blocking down front. Now he's out of bounds at the 13-yard line, but Rob Hebert, another great reception, and I think they're going to call a flag and a penalty against number 7 for the Sabres. That'll be Curtis Olds. Olds doing the blocking downfield, and I don't know. It looked like he was trying to stay in front of his man. His man turned on him.
Yeah, I really think we're going to get a clipping call here. We're going to wait for the call, but I'm sure he's going to put that hand right down there on the bottom.
Blocking in the back, and they'll mark it back. So Hebert was about 40 yards on that reception, take away 10. And Hebert had 3 catches in that first half for 77 yards, 5 for 9 passing in the first half for Cry, for a total of 129 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Jim Cry had himself one heck of a first half, Jeff.
He had himself so much of a heck of a first half that he got to sit out for about 5 or 6 minutes and actually give somebody else a chance at it. Jamie Ruhlin actually came in and threw the ball around, and if this game gets out of hand with a couple more touchdowns, you might see number 23 calling the signals again, but right now Cry's your man.
First down and 10 at the 28. Cry up top, overthrows Olds, and then Olds takes a lick from number 10, Willie Martin. And Olds didn't like that hit too much.
Yeah, that's just uncalled for right there. You know, these guys are out here, semi-pro. We're not talking like it's the NFL or something like that. And, you know, the ball's 10 feet over Olds' head, and number 10, Willie Martin, comes in and just drills Curtis Olds. And, again, the coaches, the coaching staff, Dan Quinn and also David Blaisdell, has said over and over, we did not want any of these players to retaliate, get into any kind of fights or arguments. And you watch a very mature Curtis Olds just maybe say a little thing to the ref, put his hands up, and he walked away.
Second down and 10 now for Cry. Stewart at fullback. Galoo, the tailback. The straight-off handoff to Stewart. He'll pick up about 1 on the play.
Stewart seeing a lot of action here in the late first half and early second half. Your big man usually running the football is Alvin Ross out of Rochester, New Hampshire, but it's been Gary Stewart here. He's really been seeing the ball in those short situations.
It'll be third down and 9. Mcquitter now brings in the play for Coach Quinn. And Stewart, that was his 4th carry of the contest for 10 yards. Magnet will come out to the near side of the field. Olds to the far side. I formation in the backfield with McEwen and Galoo. Cryer and the music over center. Pitch out to Galoo. McEwen leading the way. Flag goes down, and so does Olds, and more flags come flying in.
Gonna wait and see what the call is, but I do believe I saw a possible hold by number 81, Rob Hebert, on the near side. And there you go. That is going to be on Hebert. Hebert had his hands wrapped around one of the Oak players. I think it was number 2, Darren Royster, on the near side. He was the defensive back, and pretty obvious he was doing it right in front of the referee.
So the Sabres will be set back and looking at a long third down situation and a passing down for Jim Cryer. And again, we started the first half with a lot of flags, Jeff, and we're seeing them here in the second half to get things underway.
Same old, and boy, I tell you, when those flags start hitting the ground, and you know, you're going to watch New Jersey probably put the ball up in the air here in the second half with a lot of incomplete passes. That clock is going to be stopping, and this is going to be a long game, and it's already long for New Jersey, trailing 22-0.
Call and cancel those late-night plans.
A lot of stoppage of play here tonight, and the Oaks have one more stoppage of play here. The penalty called on Maine.
Okay, third down now and 19. Magnet to the near side, Olds to the far, I formation again. Fake pitch, reverse to Hebert. He gets hit, stays on his feet, but he's in trouble out there. But no, he fights through it. This man is amazing. He won't get a first down, but he'll pick up about 12, and that's after he should have lost about 7.
You know, I'm just remembering back, you know, they used to have in the olden days, they probably still do with some of the carnivals, the grease pig contest. They grease up the pig, you try to catch him, and Hebert had something on it because he went right through the hands of like 4 or 5 different New Jersey Oak players. He was going to be stopped for about a 5 or 10 yard loss that time. It looked like also almost like a blown play, and somehow Hebert just squeezed through a couple of mini holes to get a good gain and a first down. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. The greased pig.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll appreciate me calling him that or not.
Well, he didn't get the first down. It'll be 4th down and about 6 as he got past the 1 marker. They had so long way to go. But it'll be a 4th down now and 6, and it looks like Goodrich is on to attempt what looks like about a 41-yard field goal.
Well, I got so excited about the grease pig contest, I called it first down instead of 4th down. So it is 4th.
Hebert is amazing. As I said, I call one game of the Maine Lions, which he played for last year, and he had a heck of a night that night. He's equaling that, if not bettering it, tonight at Cobb Stadium.
Now remember the fellow in kicking now, Mr. Goodrich. He's 34 years old, far from over the hill, and he's proven it here tonight. Look at that.
Wow. Josh Barstow, the holder, and Goodrich is true to form, right down the middle from 41 out, and that would have been good from about 50. That sailed through the boards, and Goodrich, I believe, kicked for the University of Rhode Island years ago and had a lot of records for that school and the conference that they played in, and he's still doing it at age 34, and he puts 3 more up on the board for the Maine Sabres. They now lead by the score of 25-0 over the New Jersey Oaks. You're watching Sabres football on NEC Sports TV. Jay Harper along with Jeff Peterson.
Well, I'm still amazed at how much of his foot he got into that. Boy, that ball sailed, folks. It went past the track here at Cobb Stadium on the fly. I think it hit the outside lane and bounced all the way to the fence near the scoreboard. I mean, he got all of his foot in that one. That would have been good from almost 60 probably. Wow, Goodrich proven, hey, 34 years young. He's not old at all.
Well, field goal kickers can go a long way, as has been proven throughout the years in the NFL. George Blanda starting it all off, the papa of football, and then you got many, many more who still kick.
Yeah, Blander was playing quarterback, too, at the same
Sure.
time. 50 years old, still throwing and kicking and everything. And we talked about the fellow who was 54 years old on the New Jersey Oaks, too, still playing up a storm here today.
Meechin up the middle had a bit of a hole and it closed up. He'll get the ball out to the 33-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Oaks, trailing 25-0.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. The Oaks really need to do something. I mean, they don't want to make this a wasted trip up from New Jersey. They came a long ways. They don't want to go back empty-handed with no points. They really want to get something going. They have been able to get a darn thing going. The only way they've been in the territory of the Maine Sabers here tonight has been on penalties, and they'd really like to get something going. They're going to have to do with their passing game, and there has been no passing game. A couple of passes were intercepted, and a couple other ones were just lame ducks up in the air. And we have the quarterback who started the game, Mr. Winters, back in. Paul Winters, number 4, so he's going to try to light some kind of a fire for the Oaks.
Well, they got 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near. 1st down and 10. And they go to the ground. But Horn has a big hole, breaking back outside, and a nice comeback tackle by number 42, Kevin Crone, for the Maine Sabers.
And that was pretty obvious. The Sabers up 25-0. I mean, their defense, they're looking pass all the way. They're going to give you the ball right up the middle, and Horn had all kinds of room as they ran the draw play and really fooled the Saber defense. That's one of their first downs the Oaks have gotten without the use of a penalty. That doesn't happen that often.
Crone from Sanford, Maine, and also lists Michigan State. Does that mean he played football for Michigan State? Winter in all kinds of trouble. Throws it over the middle. Juggled and incomplete. Almost a miraculous interception. Oliver.
Boy, you know, Oliver dropping that, you saw the near interception. What you didn't see was, boy, Winters just got absolutely decked by number 57, Mark Oliver, on the far side of the field. One of the coaches of the Oaks actually came out on the field to see if his quarterback was all right, because he was just drilled right to the turf. Winters popped right back up like nothing happened. You know, he got back in the huddle going, oh my God, that hurts. Never want to show your competition you got hurt.
Folks, I don't know if you're enjoying the music in between, but it is there, and we're getting a wide variety of tunes.
Do you think Bud Sawyer's enjoying that music?
Somehow I find it hard to believe. That'll bring up now a 2nd down and 10. Jefferson now, they're playing switch the quarterback. And offsides, and this game is getting ugly.
All kinds of flags.
John Turner that time just kind of stood up and looked like he was ready to go for a nice little stroll here in Sanford, Maine at about 9 o'clock at night. I don't know what he was doing. You know, he didn't even run. He didn't even look like he was blocking. He just kind of got back up on both his feet and just started walking.
Not the way you're taught to fire off the ball.
Not at all. Again, a lot of the players, I would imagine, with the heat, again, the fatigue starting to set in, the shortage of players. That long bus ride up for New Jersey, ouch. I can just imagine sitting on that bus.
2nd down and 15. Jefferson just gets the handoff off, and there's McEwen holding on Horn, but he fights free, and finally stopped by Craig Hutchins, number 99.
McEwen and also Paul Boulay in the backfield that time. The main player in that play happened to be Boulay. Boulay stopped the action where McEwen could come in and get the tackle. So, again, the Sabers just making it look so easy on defense out there.
It's amazing how much they're overshadowing their opponents. Just better on all fronts.
It's just plain and simple. The Oaks have been overmatched here tonight by this Maine Saber defense, and what we've seen in the first 2 games of the Sabers, this defense is what's going to win ball games for Maine. But hey, you can't put down the offense after putting up 3 touchdowns in this football game.
And the coaching staff for New Jersey is shuffling quarterbacks in and out with plays, and we got another offsides. Well, you forget catching last call. This one's going to go a while, folks.
Oh, boy. Again, the Oaks doing their impression of marking time and place. But actually, they're not really marking time and place. They're going backwards. And guys, you're supposed to go the other way.
And the problem with that is every time there's a penalty, that's the stoppage of the clock. Now they've set it rolling again. Under 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Maine leading 25-0 over their New Jersey opponents.
The who opponents?
New Jersey.
They did that very well.
I lived in Brooklyn for a while. Winter back to pass, and here comes the whole Saber team in on him. He avoids 1 man, 2 men, but then 3, 4, and 5 bring him to the turf, and that'll be a loss of 10 on the play and set up a 4th down and about a football field to go.
Now I got a question. Maybe I blinked, and did the New Jersey Oaks have an offensive line that time?
I don't think so. They're just letting him in. If I were the quarterbacks, I'd be saying, hey, guys, you know, you can at least make an effort.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Burt Reynolds movie, The Longest Yard, when they actually let the guys come in and not even block him at all. I mean, that was just amazing. The quarterback turned around and said, oh, my goodness, there were 5 black shirts right in his face, and he wasn't going anywhere. Yeah, I tell you, my heart goes out to the quarterbacks from New Jersey. What, all 2 or 3 of them here tonight?
Looks like 26, Anthony Thompson, left-footed punter, back to do the kicking chores, and he gets off a decent height punt, but no bounce as it goes out of bounds at midfield. And the Sabres will take over. First down and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Jam, I'd have to apologize, too. You know, we decided I was going to do play-by-play in the first half. You were going to do the second half, and I think I got the action in the first half. You're getting the mop-up job. I think you got a bum deal here.
I think I'm getting used in this one, but we'll see how the Maine players use this one, because as we spoke of earlier, Dave Blaisdell and the brass of the Sabres are looking to win big tonight because they want to impress a couple of sponsors who are interested in helping send money to the Sabres and, of course, their charity organization. So we'll see how they play this. Pitch out this way, and that'll be Stewart. No gain on the play. He'll actually lose about a half a yard. I don't know, though. We're going to have to send someone down to speak to the DJ, though. This music has got to be changed in variety here.
Well, I think it's going to be up to us to maybe sing or something maybe now. Turn Out the Lights is going to be the song maybe in about 15 minutes or so. Actually, I could probably already start singing that.
Well, we know Bud works for POR, and I also work for WBLM, and we're not getting either of those music tastes on there. I could live with either one, and we're getting something from, I don't know, the disco era. I don't even think there's a station in Portland that plays that music anymore, Jeff. Does that say something about the music?
I'm waiting to see maybe John Travolta run out on the field and start doing the disco dance or something there. But the Maine Sabres dancing all over the Oaks, though, right now. That's the matter at hand, and it has been no contest at all.
Twin receivers to the left, flashing over the middle. Reception by Magnet, breaks the tackle, cuts back. He'll gain 22 yards on the reception. Down inside the 30 as Cryer continues his hot hand, and I knew Magnet would have to fit into the action sometime soon.
Magnet looked like a little rabbit out there being chased by a bunch of coyotes. He kind of bounced off a few and zigzagged his way down for a nice little gain, and boy, I tell you, he's a spunky little player. Number 24, he's coming in here. Biddeford, played at Biddeford High, 5'9", 160 pounds. He is a little guy, and folks, you just saw that little rabbit is quick.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of players in Western Class A back a few years ago that would say that exact same thing about Ray Magnet. He was a Fitzy finalist in his senior year for Biddeford, and didn't win it that year, but he was a finalist. I think that was the year it went to Steve Knight of Marshwood. Handoff up the middle to Galoo, and a big hole. Looks like he'll get 6 on the carry. Now we're doing a little Jailhouse Rock. We can do Elvis, yes.
Okay, now...
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, and all of a sudden now, this is nice because they're running the ball on the ground, the clock is moving, so the game is moving along now. Well, I tell you, a couple of times it just seemed like that the earth stood still here at Cobb Stadium. This game has been so one-sided here tonight, and the Sabres just owned it. It's about time to start running the ball. And, boy, it looks like invasion of the bugs. We'll have to show you this picture, folks. Cobb Stadium, I think, has been known for the bug capital of the world when it... up by their stadium lights. The bugs have invaded Cobb Stadium.
2nd and 4, quick screen out. Intended for Magnet, just overthrown by Cryer. I was just supposed to say that, Jeff. We'll get those bugs out. Here we go. Look at that.
Did you see the
It looks
movie
like
The
it's
Swarm?
snowing.
Snowing, and oh, the weather outside is frightful.
And we would believe that in Maine. It could be 85 at game time, and by the end of it, it could snow. Yes, only here in the state of Maine.
Hey, and actually, even though we want summer, snow does not sound bad being up at this hot press box right now.
No way.
Now, let's keep summer.
No way.
Forgive me. I'm sorry I said that. All the people at the beach are going to hate me for saying that now.
Sabers looking at a 3rd down and 4 now. Cryer will send Hebert to the far side of the field. Magnet and Olds both come to the near side.
have given so generously of their time and their experience. And a special thanks to our melodious Bud Sawyer.
Stewart and Galoo in I formation in the backfield. Cryer dropping back to pass. He's got time. Out in the flat, but it's knocked down by number 51, John Howard of the Oaks. And that'll set up a 4th down, possibly another kicking situation for Mr. Goodrich.
John Howard with a nice play that time, putting his big hands and arms right up in the air, and he knocked that down. And if he would have knocked that down, wide open in the end zone was Ray Magnet right here on the near side. That little 5'9" receiver we were talking about, 160 pounds. He was waltzing around the right corner of the end zone, and Howard put his big hands up in the air and just knocked it right down.
Josh Barstow, number 19, the holder. Goodrich, the kicker. He booms off another one, and it looks down the middle again.
Oh, boy. What's in those feet?
That one a 40-yarder. He's got a 40 and a 41 now. And the Sabres now up to a 4-touchdown lead, leading the New Jersey Oaks 28-0. You're watching Maine Sabres football on NEC Sports.
Soothing relief for those nasty marketing problems. Print Mail of Maine. From your initial consultation straight through the final printing, Print Mail of Maine is truly the multi-symptom marketing remedy. And if your order needs mailing, relax. We can handle it. Print Mail of Maine. Now get some rest.
Back at Cobb Stadium, and booming another kick away is Goodrich, who has the busy foot tonight. A little fake reverse. Royster with a football, and now he goes the other way. And he's got some running room up the sideline, and he'll get out to the 36-yard line. A nice job by Mr. Royster.
We're going to shot here. Dan Dulong was just obliterated on that. Boy, they don't call it the Suicide Squad for nothing. He was just nailed by one of the Oaks players. I couldn't really pick it out. I just saw number 33 Dulong just go flying through the air with the greatest of ease, about 10 yards, and he's kind of limping out the field right now. But again, known for the Suicide Squads. And boy, Goodrich, a heck of a foot. You've seen 2 field goals that went 50 or 60 yards each of them, and that booming kickoff went all the way to the 5-yard line close to the end zone.
And you have to wonder, maybe he's not good from short range, only from long range, because when Maine had that 4th down and 4 from, their own 4-yard line, they didn't bring him in. They went for it, and when they're 40 yards out plus, that's when Mr. Goodrich comes in to do the job.
Not to be confused with Goodyear. It is Goodrich.
Or Good Wrench.
Something we definitely don't like to see here, especially something like a semi-pro football. Injury on the field to one of the Oaks players. That's number 2, Darren Royster. He was the guy who ran the football back. He's having a tough time getting up right now. And again, none of these fellows are paid to play in this league, and anytime anybody's hurt, we just don't like to see that. It's tough. These guys work Monday through Friday, and then they come out and practice a couple times a week above and beyond their normal job and play on these games. And during the games, you just don't want to see them get hurt.
You really don't. And, they're sacrificing a lot to play on these football squads, and a lot of it, of course, for the Maine side is for charity, and for the other side, New Jersey, it's for the love of the game. And, of course, they traveled all the way up here. It's amazing the sacrifice they must have to make, and probably a reason why 12 of their players didn't show up is because of the commitment. And maybe they had to work or they had something to do, but you have to give up a lot to play on these football teams, and it costs the person on each team a lot of monies, either in lost work or in member fees that you have to pay to play, whatnot, but it is a heck of a commitment.
And the nice thing, though, the the Sabers really lucked out. I mean, the Sabers went through the league, the Continental International Football League said, or Interstate Football League said that, okay, we're going to let you play for charity and you're going to play all your games at home. So they don't have to get on those long bus rides to Philadelphia or to New Jersey or anything. And so lucky for the Maine Sabers. They don't have to go through those long bus rides.
McEwen, again, in the face of winter, bats that ball down, incomplete. And the Oaks still looking for some positive yardage here in the second half. They had a little bit in the first half, of course, on that initial drive, all the penalties against Maine, and they got all the way down inside the Maine 30-yard line. But that was the first and only time they've been down there.
And they haven't been doing anything. The Oaks back to the drawing board after this ball game, I do believe. But again, this is the first game. I'm sticking up for the Oaks again. This is their first game of the year. They have no exhibition. They're missing 12 players. So it's self-explanatory why they're having a tough time against a ball club that's already played a game this season.
Winter back to pass again. Fakes, and here comes the pressure. And he's hauled down. Do we see grounding? And it's Mr. Drew once again. Ooh, they're going to say in the grass here?
Yeah, we got some of the coaches here in the box next to us yelling in the grass, but that's what they're calling.
Well, that's why we don't have intentional grounding. They ruled the play dead before he did that. And again, the Oaks now looking at a huge amount to get themselves a first down. And Drew has had himself in the spotlight ever since you mentioned his name and said that the coaching staff said watch him. He's been the one to watch along, of course, with number 35, John McEwen. That'll do it in the third quarter. The Maine Sabers 28, New Jersey Oaks nothing. You're watching Sabres football on NEC Sports.
Join the staff at Shane's in supporting the historic Maine Sabres Football Club. And also join Shane's for breakfast on their deck from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Shane's Restaurant, Route 109, Sanford. Join us.